Hi, this is Jay from Binary Space, and today I'm going to talk to you about a very important topic, and that is zombies. Now, we all know that the zombie apocalypse is going to occur, it's just a matter of when, and for your best chance of surviving the inevitable apocalypse, I suggest using a Class 3 Outbreak Editor. Now, using our editor, you can punch in your current home address, work or school, make a map, and then run simulations so that you can be as prepared as you can be for the inevitable day when zombies do invade. Okay, so this is the world map. This is showing the location of every zombie outbreak across the globe. Every one of these red icons is a user-made map, and each of these numbers tells you how many outbreaks at that location. So to create your own map, we'll come down the bottom here. Now, while my screen is full of maps, you will have a blank screen if it's your first one. So just go create new map. And now you can click drag the map around, or you can use this search box here, which is much quicker and easier. So I'm going to type in Glenelg SA, because that's where I used to live. And so it's taken me to this wide view of the suburb of Glenelg, and this blue square here is the outline of the play area. So place that, over your house, your work, your old school, famous locations, just whatever you want to do. Something to keep in mind is I like to keep a bit of a loop going. So if you imagine you're controlling units on this map, I think if you're going to be sort of running around trying to keep your distance from zombies, maybe you're running away from them, you want to give the player give the player room to escape, so he doesn't, come down the end of this street here and just hit a dead end, and yeah, you're just forcing them into more trouble. So try and keep a bit of a loop going. I also like creating maps where you've got, supermarkets like this, different sort of buildings, maybe something like with a park in it. It just creates a bit of interest, some different sort of gameplay, stuff like that. Obviously, if you're doing your house and it just happens to be in solid suburbia, then you can still do that. But if you're making a map for sort of optimal gameplay, then I'd suggest putting in some shops and stuff like that. So I guess I'll come back to this shopping mall here if I can find it, just there. We've got our loop there. People can kind of escape and run around the map freely. You can also choose a bigger map up here if you like, and then you go create map here. So this is our play area within this line here, and at the moment the entire map is filled with grey, which is the colour for road, ground or grass, and that means it's completely flat. So if we have zombies or civilians or whatever running around on this map at the moment, if we chose to just run the game, they would be just running over the tops of buildings, over cars, over trees, and clearly that's not how we want the game to work. We want zombies and people to collide with walls, walk under trees, enter through doors, and so on. I always start with walls and buildings because our tree color is designed to not go over walls and buildings, so you can sort of safely draw a building and then do trees afterwards if there's trees overhanging buildings, which you can see in quite a few spots. So I've selected the wall color first, and to do buildings you want to do an enclosed wall first. So on wall, the line tool, and then an 8-pixel brush is the suggested size tool. So I'm just clicking, dragging, letting go, and the line will just follow until I let go. Pretty straightforward. So once I have that enclosed wall for the building walls, we want to select the building color and the paint bucket and just click inside. Now this is telling the game that this is a building and that people can search it. When people enter the building, they will be hidden or go into outline mode or whatever. So to enter the building, we want to select door, the line tool or freehand. I prefer the line tool because it just gives a bit more control. You can sort of click and drag to exactly the spot you want. So I think there's a door there, and maybe a door here as well, wherever you want. If you know the actual location, you can put these things in the exact positions, but I'm just sort of putting them where I think is a good spot. Of course, you can make larger windows as well if you want. So now we've got a building with enterable doors, windows. So a character can enter through these doors and fire out from windows, and zombies can see through those windows as well. Okay, so that covers basic buildings. Trees, you probably want to use the freehand tool. Maybe 36, maybe less, depending on how detailed you need to be. So I'm just click dragging again, and like I said, you can't draw over buildings, so I'll just Shift Z to undo that. You can also just do like an outline of a tree like that, and then go to the fill tool and fill it in. And that just leaves low fences and water. So low fences, again, we suggest an 8 pixel brush size and a line tool, and then you can just go in and draw that down just like walls. Low walls you can see over, but you can't move over them. And in the future, you may be able to also climb over them, but walls and high fences you won't be able to climb. And yeah, then we've got cars, which is again another line tool, and we suggest 20 pixels. So that's just clicking and dragging again. And there you go. Water. You don't need to actually place walls around water. It'll just it's not going to like flow out or anything like that. Characters are just going to collide with it if they walk into it. They're not going to go into it and drown or anything yet. So one more thing to note is when you're drawing your collision maps, just try and be as precise and clean with your lines as possible, because in future versions you may actually be able to see the collision maps in some form. So if you've got players viewing that collision map and it just looks something like this, then people aren't. It's just going to spoil your map. So just keep the line tools and try and stay precise. And I just realised I drew that whole thing with low fence. So if you actually do that, you can just go to wall or high fence, hit the fill tool, and fill that in a different colour. So that covers that. I'll just run through the tools again. So this is your palette. If you need to sort of erase anything, you can use road to come back in and kind of like touch up bits if you think you've sort of messed it up or it needs cleaning up. The move tool here is just to move the entire map, so that's just clicking and dragging, but I'd highly suggest using WASD. It's much easier and quicker. You can also use it as at a pinch as like a line tool if you click down the freehand tool and then move left and right. Then we've got the freehand is just click, drag, make whatever shape you want. Line tool, brush size, we've got a tutorial and a quick sheet that gives you different the suggested sizes for all those tools. You've got undo and redo, which is essential. That's Shift C and Shift Y. Once you've finished your map, you want to give it a title and a description. At the moment, I'm recommending people just use a descriptive title. So like Jetty Road, Glenelg, and shopping centres, or shopping centre. And the description can just be of the actual place. You know, what's the suburb like? Is it a bit run down, or is it in a fancy part of town? You know, is it popular? Is it like a tourist destination? Stuff like that. And you can hit OK and save that, and people can read a bit about it. This is your visibility, so you can check out what your map looks like. This is quite good for going in and making sure your collisions aren't going to create any problems. If you hit on check map, this little window here will tell you what all the problems are with your map. So this here, there's no opening or door to walk into this area from the rest of the map. You've got these, you know, walkable area, but you just can't get to it, and that's going to create a problem. And same with this, zombies and humans may be able to squeeze diagonally through a gap, which can also, that can create problems. So using this visibility mode, you can fire that up and then go back and fix that up. So under actions here as well, save. You want to save as much as possible, just in case in the event you accidentally hit the back button on your mouse or something horrendous like that. Check we just covered. Then publish is when you've actually completed your map, and you don't want to use that until you've actually finished, because people will start rating. I'll moderate your map when it's completed, and then once we've got user ratings in there, they'll moderate it as well, and you'll get a bad map rating if you've just published a half complete map. And then finally, you can cancel if you've finished your map making session. So finally, if you just want a text version of this tutorial that's a bit less waffly than this video, you can check out Saxon's tutorial here, and he's laid it all out quite simply. And you can also check out what a complete map should look like. Again, a very clean map, which is going to be easy for players to read while they're playing. And then down the bottom you've got the quick sheet with suggested brush sizes and so on. So hopefully that has provided you with all you need to create your first map, and in the future I'll probably be doing either some more articles or videos that will run through how to make a featured or highly rated map. So I'll catch you guys around. Thanks for listening. Bye.